Shalom. We meet again. Shalom to my brothers and sisters. This is Yadai Allah, Banya Hawada, Banyasha Allah, with the ancient Hebrew class. I believe this is our fourth time together. I hope you've been studying. So right now we're going to open the class up with the Lord's Prayer. The one Palau, the Lord's Prayer. Okay. Abnawa Shab Shemayam Kodash Haya Shamka Yahawa Malakwafka Sab'a Ratazaka Haya Aisha Baharataza Kawa Haya Bashamayam Nathana Lakam Kau Yawam Wasalak Nawa Kabawath Nawa Kasalak Nawa Kawawath Yanawa Wala'a Fabaya Nawa Banas Yawan Abao Hawashaya Nawa Mayan Rai Kaya Laka Hamalakwath Waha'ala Wahathat Parath La'aya Walamyam And we always have to have a translation. Our provider, Yahweh, whose settlement is in the great waters, and whose image is lawful and true. The fullness of your business is desired. Your pleasure be accomplished upon the land, like it is in the great waters. Give us every day our substance, and put up a wall against those who have bound us, as we have bound others. Be not angry with us forever, for your name's sake, but save us from the king's life. For all is yours, for you are the provider of the enclosure and the embellisher, far beyond the horizon. So it is true. Okay. Shema. Listen. Yashar Allah, Israel. Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, the power of us. Yahweh, Achad is one. Blessed be Yah. So we've had 2, 4, 6 riddles. So I hope some of you have come to the conclusion what they may be, what letters they are. And I call that, what letter am I? And I have 2 more. So I'm going to read, and then you're going to use those clues to figure out which letter from our studies that I'm speaking about. Okay. Let me find them glasses of mine, which I did have a second ago. All right. What letter am I? I form a union of 3. Love and law is how you recognize me. When you come visit me, I have certain rules. Those that don't follow them are deemed fools. I accept nothing more when I establish the law of the door. A bit of history. The ancient Egyptians chose me with some strife. They thought I could help them enter the afterlife. What letter is that? Okay. If you know, make yourself known. If you don't, you're going to have to study some more. Here's the second. Look around. You'll see my handiwork. I made it all from nothing but dirt. Buildings, roads, cars. I even built the stars. Joined for ease of flex. Ra is incorrect, by the way. And so is God. Jointed for ease of flex. Hold a baby even while I text. Psst, hey, you. I even made my brother Nah. And they say he's the hardest worker. What letter is that? So run the tape back, run the video back. And if you don't know, keep studying. That's the best I can tell you. All right. All right, let's see what we're going to study today. All right, those that have the Apocrypha. Let me see, camera. Right there. Those that have the Apocrypha turn to Ecclesiasticus. And I believe it's the page 70. You might have a different book. It might be on a different page, but find Ecclesiasticus. Okay. Even our fathers in the ancient world knew and understood that to translate Hebrew would be a difficult surmounting, or a difficult thing to do. And they wrote about it in the Apocrypha. Okay. Whereas many and great things have been delivered unto us by the law and the prophets, and by others that have followed their steps, for the which things Israel ought to be commended for learning and wisdom. You know, for a long time, we were known for our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And Solomon was one of the greatest and wisest kings, where the earth looked to him for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on different fronts. So let's continue to make our fathers proud of us by continuing in his knowledge. Wherefore not only the readers must needs become skillful themselves. So the readers have to become skillful, because this book was translated from Hebrew into Greek, into English, and several other languages. So that's going to cause the language to be diluted, weakened. So you have to be skillful in understanding what you're reading. And English is definitely one of the worst of all languages to try to understand the scriptures. But also they that desire to learn be able to profit them which are without. So after you learn, you can teach those others who are without this knowledge, and sharpening your own sword at the same time, both by speaking and writing. So you have to practice to speak to each other, and you have to practice to write. Okay? Otherwise, just like muscles, they're going to get weak and flaccid. All right? So you have to practice over and over again. Okay, let's go down to, wherefore, let me entreat you, let me beg you to read it with favor and attention. So just don't take the Bible as face value all the time. Sometimes it is directly, and sometimes it's in metaphor. So you have to be sharp to find out which one it is that's coming at you when you read the scriptures. And to pardon us, which are the translators, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself, and the prophets, and the rest of the books, which have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. So English distorts the scriptures. That's why everybody's got an interpretation, because they're all reading it in English. And English is the worst language on the planet Earth. Satan's tongue, I call it. Satan's tongue. All right. Satan's tongue, I'm telling you. So they use English to get over on you, to trick you into contracts, to make themselves look bigger than you, smarter than you, with all of these words. You go into the lawyer and he don't know what the heck he's talking about, or a doctor, stratophysis and all this, not all these big words, these lawful words that they have to try to fool you and make you think you're a fool or dummy. That's what English is, but Hebrew is concrete. Concrete knowledge, concrete understanding. Okay? I wanted to, here we go.
In the world,
can you see me over here? Okay.
There are two major types of cultures, the Hebrew or Eastern culture and the Greek or Western.
If you can just listen for a little bit.
I
hope that's loud enough.
And purpose in ways which would seem foreign to the other. With the exception of a few Bedouin nomadic tribes living in the Near East today, the ancient Hebrew culture has disappeared. What happened to this ancient Hebrew thought and culture? Around 800 ECE, a new culture arose to the north.
That's right.
This new culture began to view the world very much differently than the Hebrews. This culture,
can everybody hear this?
Around 200 BCE, the Greeks began to move south, causing a coming together of the Greek and Hebrew culture. This was a very tumultuous time as the two vastly different cultures collided. Over the following 400 years, the battle raged until finally the Greek culture won and virtually eliminated all trace of the ancient Hebrew culture. The Greek culture then in turn influenced all following cultures, including the Roman and European cultures, our own American culture, and even the modern Hebrew culture in Israel today. As 20th century Americans with a strong Greek thought influence, we read the Hebrew Bible as if a 20th century American had written it. In order to understand the ancient Hebrew culture in which the Tanakh was written in, we must examine some of the differences between Hebrew and Greek thought. Abstract versus concrete thought. Greek thought views the world through the mind, abstract thought. Ancient Hebrew thought views the world through the senses, concrete thought. Concrete thought is the expression of concepts and ideas in ways that can be seen, touched, smelled, tasted, and/or heard. All five of the senses are used when speaking and hearing and writing and reading the Hebrew language. An example of this can be found in Psalms 1-3. He is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. In this passage we have concrete words expressing abstract thoughts, such as a tree, one who is upright, righteous, streams of water, grace, fruit, good character, and an unwithered leaf, prosperity. Abstract thought is the expression of concepts and ideas in ways that cannot be seen, touched, smelled, tasted, or heard. Hebrew never uses abstract thought as English does. Examples of abstract thought can be found in Psalms 103-8. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. As you noticed, I said that Hebrew uses concrete and not abstract thoughts, but here we have such abstract concepts as compassionate, gracious, anger, and love in a Hebrew passage. Actually, these are abstract English words translating the original Hebrew concrete words. The translators often translate this way because the original Hebrew makes no sense when literally translated into English. Let us take one of the abstract words above to demonstrate how this works. Anger, an abstract word, is actually the Hebrew word awph, which literally means nose, a concrete word. When one is very angry, he begins to breathe hard, and nostrils begin to flare. A Hebrew sees anger as the flaring of the nose nostrils. If the translator literally translated the above passage, slow to nose, it would make no sense to the English reader, so a nose is translated to anger in this passage. Appearance versus functional description. Greek thought describes objects in relation to its appearance. Hebrew thought describes objects in relation to its function. A deer and an elk are
function,
two very different objects, and we would
action.
never describe them in the same way with our Greek form of descriptions.
Greeks
The Hebrew word for both of these objects is
explain it
"eye,"
in
because the functional description of these two objects
its
are identical to the
what it
ancient
looks like.
Hebrews. Therefore, the same Hebrew word
Hebrews
is used for
explain
both.
what it does.
The Hebraic definition of is a strong leader. A deer stag is one of the most powerful animals of the forest and is seen as a strong leader among the other animals of the forest. Also, the oak tree's wood is very hard compared to other trees such as the pine, which is soft and is seen as a strong leader among the trees of the forest. Notice the two different translations of the Hebrew word. In Psalms 29.9, the NASB and KJV translates it as, "The voice of the Lord makes the deer to calve," while the NIV translates it as, "The voice of the Lord twists the oaks." The literal translation of this verse in Hebrew thought would be, "The voice of the Lord makes the strong leaders turn." When translating the Hebrew into English, the translator must give a Greek description to this word, which is why we have two different ways of translating this verse. This same word is also translated as a ruler in 2 Kings 24.15, who is a man who is a strong leader. Another example of Greek thought would be the following description of a common pencil. It is yellow and about 8 inches long. A Hebrew description of the pencil would be related to its function, such as, "I write words with it."
Yeah, a
Notice
writing
that
instrument.
the Hebrew description uses the verb, write, while the Greek description uses the adjective, yellow, and long. Because of Hebrew's form of functional descriptions, verbs are used much more frequently than adjectives. Impersonal versus personal description. The Greek culture describes objects in relation to the object itself. The Hebrew culture describes objects in relation to the Hebrew himself. As in the example above of the pencil, the Greek description portrays the pencil's relationship to itself by using the word is. The Hebrew describes the pencil in relation to himself by saying, "I write." Because Hebrew does not describe objects in relation to itself, the Hebrew vocabulary does not have the word is. A Greek description of God would be, "God is love," which describes God in relation to God. A Hebrew description would be, "God loves me," describing God in relationship to myself. Passive versus active nouns. Greek nouns are words which refer to a person, place, or thing. Hebrew nouns refer to the action of a person, place, or thing. The Hebrews are active people and their vocabulary reflects this lifestyle. The Greek culture recognizes the words such as a knee and a gift as nouns which by themselves impart no action. But in the Hebrew vocabulary the nouns come from the same root word. Because they are related, not in appearance, but in action. The Hebrew word for knee is barak, and literally means the part of the body that bends. The Hebrew word for a gift is baraka, meaning what is brought with a bent knee. The verb from the root word is barak, meaning to bend the knee. As you can see, both Hebrew verbs and nouns have action associated with them where the Greek nouns do not. Even the Hebrew nouns for father and mother are descriptive of action. The Hebrew word for father is avenue, and literally means the one who gives strength to the family, and mother. Means the one that binds the family together. Be sure to watch the video. Abstract versus concrete for additional information.
Okay. Let's see if we're gonna. So, Hebrew is English is abstract and vague. Okay. Look at this here. Oh, what happened to my marker? Let me see. I've been writing there. This is the English, right? English, got it. You got two layers there. So which one are we talking about? You have to put there in their own perspective. Then you have silent letters. What is this silent letters about? No. Can I just say N-O? No. Got silent letters. What is a silent letter doing in there? What they did was they ran out of letters to express to know or to have knowledge. So they added these two on the end, so that way it's distinct from N-O as being not. Okay. English is a bad language, man. Horrible. You got pair. There's a pair, P-A-R. And I got a pair of shoes. What is this about? I got a pair that I eat and a pair of shoes. They all sound the same. Different spelling. So that's why people that come to this country have so much trouble with English. Because once they think they got something right, here comes a monkey wrench to throw right in the damn bed. A wrench comes right in there and messes up their thought pattern. You got two and you got two. And you got two over here. This is English. This is garbage, man. All right. So English is abstract and vague. Hebrew is concrete, definite. So there's no mistake, in other words. So the word love, I think we did this before, is ahab. Ahab. Ahab means to give. Here's the provider. Pay attention. So your love is different from my love, and if I ask somebody else, they got a different love. But Hebrew is concrete thought. So here's the provider. Here's pay attention. Pay attention. And here's comforts. So the action is to pay attention to the comforts of the provider. So somebody comes to your house, you pay attention to their comforts. You give them a place to sit down, and you put their feet up maybe. You give them something to drink. You welcome them into your house. In the ancient world, this was a culture. This is how you show love, by giving. Pay attention to their comforts. All right. So love means to pay attention to one's comforts. Okay. So ignoring somebody is not showing love, but giving does. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let me increase your vocabulary just a little bit more here. All right. Here's the English for how are you? How are you? So if you want to say how are you, you say, well, there's several ways, just like you can do in English, several ways. You have ma. Ma means how or what. How or what? How life. Chaya. Chaya. That's chaya. Chaya means life. Here's the wall, which is strong. Ya means me, myself. So I am strong. So if somebody says, how are you? You say, chaya, I'm strong. If you're not strong, then you say, I'm weak. Mao. Okay, so how life. In other words, how's your strength? Life. And here is ka. You or your. So how life your how your life? How your life? How's your life doing? How is it? Is it good or is it bad? If it's good, you say tab, tab, tab. You remember this is clean and unclean. This is the comforts or the tent. So clean tent. This is how Hebrews express what is good by saying clean tent. Clean tent, tab. It became the English word tab. Put it on my tab because I'm good for it. Okay, that's the way they used to keep track of IOUs. They put it on a tab, and they once a month, once a week, the person would come and pay. So if you're bad, if you're not doing good, you're mal. Mal means bad. Bad. And bad is a Hebrew word too, I added. Bad. Okay. Mal means to cut off the flow. So my flow is cut off. I'm weak. I'm bad. Not feeling right. Okay. So machayaka. Machayaka. How are you? Tawab or tab. Now tawab, a lot of brothers and sisters are saying tawab. Let's put it this way. By adding wa. Anytime you add wa to a word, it increases its value. Like walk, walking, run, running. Okay. So tab is good. Tawab means better. And mayatab means the best. Okay. So how are you? Tab or mal. Mal. Tab meaning good. Mal meaning bad. Malpractice. Suffix for a lot of English words. Malfeasance. It became the word mall, mala, mall. Let's go to the mall. Mala. Okay. I'll write all that down. So how are you? Here's another way. Here's ma again. How or what? Asking a question. Shalom. Ma shalom ka. Ma shalom ka. This is you again. This is peace or wholeness. How's your wholeness? Are you whole or not? Are you silent? This is how or what? Ma shalom. Ma shalom. And then ka. So ka is you, your. Okay, or as or like. All right. So this is another way to ask, how are you doing? Ma shalom ka. Or ma chayaka. All right. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister. Now, there's no such thing as thank you. That came from English. We don't know what that means. but we've been brainwashed to think that it means to praise somebody. All right. Okay. What do we say in Hebrew? We say Tawada. 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 That's what we say in the ancient Hebrew. Fa is wa da. Tawada. Now, fa means you or your. You or your. You, one. Wa means united together. That means one. Okay. La, da is law. Don't forget. Law or love. And ha means to pay attention, to look or see. Yeah. You, okay, you pay attention to the law. Okay? You pay attention to the law, to the one law. So when you say thank you, you're saying, you telling the person what you did for me is of the law. Okay, this is also of. So I could say, let's get rid of one, it makes more sense. So you're of the law. This is also the. Ha means the, so let's get rid of pay attention. Okay. You're of the law. What you did for me is of the law. It's a lawful act. You gave me something to eat. You gave me some water to drink. That's a lawful act. So Thawada, I'm acknowledging that by saying Thawada. What you did for me is a lawful act. You're of the law, Thawada. That's how a Hebrew would say action. This is the action. Okay. You're of the law, Thawada. Okay. That's how you say thank you. By giving someone praise, you're of the law. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, that's English. Shun. Ka. Shun. Shun. Sorry. Shashunka. Shashunka. Okay. Shashun. The shun is the teeth, right? Okay. So what are we saying here? I show my teeth. The teeth. Shun means teeth. Oh, I'm spelling it wrong. Oh, as, and sha means as or like. So like the teeth. I'm telling the person like the teeth. And what are the teeth used for? To smile or to be angry. So in this case, I'm smiling with my teeth. I'm showing my teeth. It's a difference when your mouth is closed and then when it's open. You can see the person's emotions when the teeth are shown. Okay. So shashunka, like the teeth. Like the teeth, or as the teeth, or I show my teeth. That's how you say welcome. Shashanka. Okay. So we know how you are. How are you? 2 ways or more. You can develop your own. Thank you. We have You're welcome. How about goodbye? Now say some say shalom as a goodbye, and we're asking that the person have wholeness on their trip away from you. But you seen this word before? This this is the Hebrew word. This is the English word that became. This is a Hebrew word that became English. It's called baya. Baya. Baya became the word bye. Bye. See you later. Okay. Baya. Okay. Baya means to go. Ba means with. With. Next to. Beside. Along. This is abbreviation for our Father's name. Yeah. So go. Ba also means come and go. Ba, ba'a, ba'a, bawa, bawa, come. Bawa ka'an, come here. All right. So we're asking that person to go with the Most High in their journey, or may the Father go with you in your journey. Baya. Okay. We use that pretty often around my house. So we say Baya with Yah, or go with Yah. Okay. So you've been saying bye all this time. You didn't even know it was a Hebrew word. Baya. Okay. Good morning. Shalom. Good morning. Tab. Let's say Tab. Tab is good, remember. Bakwa. Or Tab. Bakwa. Bakwa means to be early. Okay. Clean house. The comfort shot out from the king. Okay. So what shot out from the king has to get up very early to start his day. All right. And then the head is on the top. So the head has to get up before everybody else. If you go to any of the establishments, corporations, the manager is there all the time first before everybody else come in. So he's setting up everything. So we say good morning. This is good morning. Good morning. Tabakwar. Bakwar. Tabakwar. Good morning. Okay. How about good evening? Let's say Irab. Irab. What am I saying here? Good evening. Sometimes I forget to write in the right direction, or which seems to be the right direction, which is English. So good evening. Irab is the evening part of the day. Remember, Rob is the king's comforts. I means the life cycle. And then the life cycle is evening, evening, morning, afternoon, evening, morning, afternoon, night, evening, morning, afternoon, night. So the cycle. Okay. So if you want to say, this is Irab, sorry. Irab. If you heard the term Arab, which is Irab, Irab means to mix. Okay. So the life of the king's comforts are mixed. So if you go into the king's chamber, you see all kind of stuff mixed all together in one place. So the Greeks called those people over there calling themselves Arabs, they call them Arabs because they're not the original people over there. They mixed. So they said Arab, Irab, mixed. So the evening is the between completely being dark and almost being light. So like the sunset. So you got a little bit of light, but the dark is coming in slowly. And then it's completely black. Okay. So good evening. Tab Irab. Tab Irab. Okay. Good night. Laya. Laya la. Laya la. Laya la. Laya la. La ya la. Laya la. Laya la ha. Laya la. Laya la. Twab laya la. Or tab laya la. Good night. All right. Tab laya la. Okay. Make sure you get this book here. All right. Strong's, the New Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible. Any questions out there, by the way? This book has 8,000 Hebrew words in it. You go all the way to the back, and there's two sections, one for the Hebrew and one for the Greek. Okay. That's the Hebrew section right there. And then the Greek section is in the back. That's the Greek. You get this book, you can teach yourself Greek and Hebrew. Okay? Get this book. Any questions out there? I hope that somebody's out there. Anybody out there? Sound off. All right. Well, that's another one of our lessons. I guess we'll give it a day or so. Shalom, sister. Any questions, Ladai? Ladai? I know your name passed through quickly. Any questions? If we want to go back over the letters again, we can. If you have any questions concerning those. Okay. If you don't have any understanding concerning the ancient Hebrew lettering, we can go over it now. So if you have any questions out there, don't forget the riddle. Break down the riddle. If you understand the letters or the characters or the pictographs, you'll understand the riddles that I put forth. Only educated guess, okay? Don't be guessing like you don't know what you're doing. Listen to the clues, match it up, and come up with an educated answer. Okay? Anybody out there? All right. I'm just and ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, cha, ta, ya, kala, ma, na, sa, I. Let's put I, right? I, ha, taza, kwa, ra, sha, tha. Okay. 22 letters in our ancient tongue. Once you master these, you can read any of these Hebrew words and read the Bible with no problem. Anybody got any questions concerning any of these? Speak or forever hold your peace. All right. Well, happy studying. Study to show yourself approved, rightly dividing in the word of truth. Okay. We'll see each other in a couple of days. Shalom. Tawab la yala. Good night.